that maybe didn't tune into Epic LAN, Geralt, he was of course competing in a LAN event in the UK, did win the entire tournament. Geralt, he was able to walk away with that trophy, but I think he's still in the UK. Again, that was like last night, so I'm sure he would be unavailable to compete in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. But for now, we're jumping into our second series of the night, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. That is not the Hyper 1 logo. My apologies. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss, representing himself currently teamless. He just took down Luciano. Can you do the same to HonMonO? It is LunaSea. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series, on who you think will take out or will come out on top and make it to the semifinals. Last series, the favorite player was LunaSea. This series, I think I actually want to lean in favor of HonMonO. It's a little bit harder to call. I do think that HonMonO and LunaSea are closer in skill. That is true. I do think that this has the potential to go the distance and go all the way to the ace match. But I do think that HonMonO is in slightly better form than LunaSea. But we'll see. We shall see if or which way this goes. Again, I'm hoping for a game 3 regardless. Hoping for an ace match. 2 years of puns. True. Oh no. It's been too much. Ahí está. Shema. As the pro does get across the map, we'll get eyes on the more economic opener. HonMonO, he will get the CC on location. He is not going to be delayed, or I should say, won't be delayed and won't be forced to throw it down off center. Probe is going to be zoned away. Oh, the dance! Jeez. HonMonO, he's very happy about that. He does zone the probe away. These zoomers, oh my god. The APM to slash dance on command. Shaking my head. As HonMonO, of course, did go for a rack suspend economic opener into the factory, so just economic start from the Terran player. Likewise, LunaSea back at home going for a Twilight Council opener, going for Blink. Meanwhile, shout out to Night Phoenix. Good to see you, Quack. Good to see. It's been a while since we've seen Night Phoenix actually play in one of our turns. Night Phoenix. Where have you been, Papi? Where have you been? We might cast Night Phoenix later on tonight. For those that are curious, would you have... Oh, like, as we do scout the proxy. Brutal moment here for LunaSea, but what I was going to say is that later on tonight, we'll be casting OSC King of the Hill. So we have a back-to-back broadcast, Sparkling Tuna Cup, right into OSC King of the Hill. So 2 events in a row. And we might see some Night Phoenix action in the King of the Hill, as the pylon is scouted, and LunaSea did open Twilight Council, but it is for, not Blink, for a Dark Shrine. It's going to be a DT opener here for LunaSea. It is going to be the Star Templar. Meanwhile, HonMonO is in the dark. Will zone away the initial Adept. Doesn't quite get the kill though. Adept does escape. Keep an eye on HonMonO. HonMonO going for a 1-1-1 follow-up. HonMonO, he is known for aggressive plays. I should have... actually started with that as well. HonMonO, he's known for all-ins, he's known for pulling the boys. Very rarely does HonMonO ever expand and take a third base. So we'll keep our eyes on the Terran as well, as the Dark Shrine is soon to finish. Pylon's being shot down. Again, it was scouted earlier. When HonMonO is going to be opening up 1-1-1 into Raven. Again, not the most uncommon of openers. But when it comes to DT harass, they can still get damage done regardless, even if there is a Raven. If it is not quite in position, then DTs can pop off as they're whirling across the map. Likewise, LunaSea going to be opening up Charge as a follow-up, not Blink. So a very different kind of style here from LunaSea, just getting into a third base, rushing into Charge, saturating his bases. This will delay splash damage, it will delay things like Colossus, or Disruptors, or Storm, in favor of a gateway-based competition. Meanwhile, the first DT is going to be shut down by the Raven. The other will be able to back off. And thankfully for LunaSea, he doesn't lose anything. I mean, he might not be able to get any damage yet, but he can at least keep HonMonO pinned and force turrets and maybe punish HonMonO as he moves out across the map. And he can slip in at the same time. So DTs are going to be in position and ready. So the Dark Templar are spread out. Likewise, the HonMonO getting to his 3-1-1 setup. Working towards Stim. Working towards a bio push. We'll see how LunaSea does approach this. Now, I assume that LunaSea would be going for a delayed splash damage and maybe just Storm. That would make sense in my mind, but no, it's going to be Colossus instead, as that is a Bay on the way. It's going to be Colossus production from the Korean Protoss. Meanwhile, you can see HonMonO, he's sharking around looking for the initial DT. We'll get one. One Dark Templar goes down. Likewise, HonMonO rotating towards the left-hand side. We'll find another. We'll at least keep it alive, though. LunaSea does back up. Does pull away. And HonMonO doing something that we rarely see from him is actually getting a third CC. Oh my god. HonMonO, are you okay, Papi? Are you good? He's actually expanding. Now, usually whenever HonMonO does take a third, it's a very rare sight. Very rare here in TvP. Whenever he does play macro, though, it's very marine heavy. And when I say marine heavy, I mean like almost pure marine, very minimal marauders, very minimal other like supportive units, just like marine tank is usually his go-to. We'll see if that continues to be the case here, as it's been like a month or two since I've seen HonMonO actually embrace a more macro game in this matchup. So we'll see how he does kind of approach this, how he brings his army together. For now, it's moving up through the center. Of course, LunaSea does have this Zelnaga, does spot the move out, and is getting ready back at home. What do we have? We have one Colossus so far. Shield batteries on the way with the overcharge. Scan does reveal the setup, but again, only one Colossus. The other is halfway done. HonMonO is pushing in. HonMonO, he did not research disable, so he cannot disable the Colossus. I would imagine he might have been expecting a different kind of composition as well, like Storm. Now, though, is going to back off. Backs off, he retreats. DT is spotted. And will finally be shut down. As HonMonO is expanding, taking a third. Likewise, LunaSea getting ready for his fourth. So, we're actually headed towards the mid-game. We're getting there. We're working towards the mid-game. Both players macroing, both players expanding. LunaSea getting into his third Colossus. Extend Double Lance almost done. Diversifying his splash damage. Not going for a second Robo, instead going for a Temple Archives. That'll be for Archons and for Storm as well. So LunaSea's building up. Shout out to the tuna. Let's go. So our players are building up. Hallucination across the map. Gets an eye on the production. The Rax's lack of second starports. Growth Academy's here at the natural. More importantly, gets eyes on all the additional tech labs as well, as we do see HonMonO actually incorporating Marauders and even Ghosts as well. He's building an army. It's crazy. He's building up. So is LunaSea. Link is on the way. LunaSea at the same time going for a counterattack across the map, going for the War Prism. HonMonO is pushing in. He's got two tanks. Oh, nice split. The anti-armor missile doesn't get much done. The tanks are getting within range. And there are EMPs with this army. The Ghosts are waiting for their moment. Marauders pushing forward. And this time a much better connection on the Zealots. But at the same time, we have Zealots in the mineral line and a warp in into the main as well. SCVs are going down. HonMonO, he is distracted. LunaSea popping up. A lot of SCVs going down. Well, that's going to be 10 SCV kills so far. Meanwhile, we came to the production. Reinforcements force back. And LunaSea dives on the tanks. He gets both. Both tanks go down. Very nice pickups. Colossus do survive. Zealots are still wreaking havoc in the main. Oh, they get the Viking. HonMonO rotates, but LunaSea's keeping up. A last second split there from the Protoss. But he is keeping up, going for a proxy across the map as well. Zealots still in the main. Finally, they're going down. They did so much. 28 SCVs. 28. That is brutal damage. And HonMonO is down to 40 workers. He still has a 3-base economy, he still has mules, but alas, his economy is still struggling here compared to LunaSea, who's on 4 bases, and a 5th is on the way. LunaSea going for the gold. Preserved his Colossus, now up to 4. Never teched into Storm is what I will say. So just focusing on Charshal, Archon, Colossus. Still has to respect the army. HonMonO actually has a much larger army supply. And he's pretty committed. He's borderline all in at this point. Moving in with the freedom zones. Denies the gold. There's no saving it. Gold base is cancelled. And it's all or nothing for HonMonO. I mean, he has a devastating army. He's got ghosts, he's got EMPs. A handful of liberators as well. But the prism comes in once again. But it's not about the harass, it's about the main fight. But the shots going up. Big connection on the zealots. Brutal choke point as well. Yeah, LunaSea cannot quite engage. Not like that. Has to rotate around. The 4th base is exposed. Nice anti-armor missile here on the Archons. Zealot reinforcements coming in. There's still 1 Liberator left, and the Liberator, it looks like it survives. Yeah, brutal shots. Brutal shots going up. LunaSea needs more anti-air. Zealots, they get 15 SCV kills down to 35 workers. If HonMonO, if he wasn't all in before, he's all in now. Like, there's no way out of this. I mean, he's down to sub 40 SCVs. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for him. At least HonMonO denied the gold. Remember, he denied the gold base. That did at least happen. LunaSea's going to be retaking it. Resaturating his bases. And because of this, LunaSea is going to be the first to max out. And HonMonO, he's stuck at home. And defending is not going to be good enough. He needs to be active, whether it's with drop play, whether it's with just outmaneuvering the main army, and sniping bases. HonMonO needs to be active. And he is. Trying to move out with some drops. His Vikings towards the left. Marine Marauder towards the right. LunaSea getting ready with his own run by. And I was curious where LunaSea was going to take us, whether it was going to be Storm or Disruptor. We have the answer. Disruptors. Disruptors are on the way. Going to be on the way here, as LunaSea once again going for another drop, but this time the army's at home, so it doesn't get much done. I say that 8 more SCV kills. Somehow, someway, still gets damage done. And here we go, and now maxed out. LunaSea is at 200 supply. He's getting ready for a Zealot run by on the right-hand side, distracting the army here on the left. Now, HonMonO, he's actually not too far behind when it comes to maxing out himself. That is also true. So again, this main fight could still go either way. Zealot run by distracts. Double drop on the right. Zealot say go for the 3rd. Main army pushes in as well. But doesn't get quite the engagement he was hoping for. Nova goes up. Gets a Marauder. And the drop forces a recall back to the gold. LunaSea will defend. HonMonO pushing through the center. LunaSea out of position. Up! Decent Nova, but the Disruptor is going to go down. He gets one. He wants the other. Nova's coming in. Oof. Gets one Marauder. Nice splits. But last, it looks like LunaSea cleans up the army, collapses in from multiple angles. And there's just not enough Terran. And LunaSea will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. LunaSea just relentless with those run-bys and with those counterattacks. Just non-stop. Zealot drops into the main. Zealot run-bys towards the 3rd base. Even though HonMonO was being active, even though HonMonO had a terrifying army, his economy was struggling. He was just losing SCV after SCV back at home. And we got to see a side of HonMonO that we rarely get to see. Macro. HonMonO was here tonight, not the HonMonO that we're used to, and it is something that HonMonO is still working on. HonMonO, again, as I mentioned before, he's known for his all-ins, he's known for his cheese, he's known for his aggression, less so here for his macro. And I appreciate that we got to see something that we rarely do from HonMonO, which was more macro play, right? Getting to a third base saturation, getting to a fourth, building up a more standard composition. Something that we rarely see, but also still something that does need to be worked upon here when it comes to, I would say, even just map awareness, alongside, of course, that defensive play as well in the mid game, keeping up with the Prism harass, having reinforcements back at home, dealing with the crisis management of counterattacks at the same time as you're pushing in a longer game state. Can be hard to keep up. Regardless, we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Hyper 1 down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force game 3. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Teal Protoss player. Teal Protoss from South Korea leading the series 1-0. It is LunaSea. Let's go. Just gonna be catching up. I just want to sleep at least 1 day per week. Este night, Phoenix. Shaking my head. Skill issue for Gunner. No. Este Gunner at night, Phoenix. Next time. We'll see you both, I'm sure. For now, we're settling in. I'm going to be settling into our TvP. And again, my eyes are mainly on HonMonO. I mentioned before that, again, like macro and HonMonO, they don't often come hand in hand. So, especially after that last game, I'm sure HonMonO's a little bit frustrated, and we'll see what he does with that frustration. As the CC is going to be forced off center, LunaSea being much more annoying this time. The Marine is going to zone the probe away, but the damage was dealt. It's not major, but the CC now has to lift and land, has to reposition. We'll delay the orbital, we'll delay the mining by a couple of seconds. And every little bit does count. Here we go. Likewise, we also saw a very different opener out of LunaSea, winding it back. Last game, it was a DT opener. Remember, it was Twilight Council or Dark Shrine. This time, LunaSea opening up Robo. I like this. I do like this from LunaSea. It's very safe play from LunaSea. Now that he's up in the series, the chances of HonMonO going for some kind of all-in on 2 bases is high. It is, and already, that is a Rax before Starport. I would not be surprised if we see a third Rax. Yep, third Rax before Starport as well. This screams 2-base all-in. This screams HonMonO is going to pull the boys. So LunaSea opening up Robo does coincide quite well with this. Now, usually a Robo opener leads into like faster Immortal, faster Colossus, just faster early Robo production to defend against early aggression as well. So it's a very safe way to play. As I say that, LunaSea did throw down extra gateways, so now I'm less certain. Now, are we going for a War Prism first? Yep, we are. Okay, so LunaSea turning this Robo opener into something a little bit more assertive. With this, he can harass, he can be active with some of these vanilla stalkers and try to pick away at HonMonO. Now, this can still lead into an early Bay, into early Colossus, but first is going to be investing quite heavily here into these stalkers. And we'll see if LunaSea can slow HonMonO down. Adept is denied into the main, but will wreak havoc here at the natural. Marines moving out across the map. Shield battery not yet done. HonMonO, can he break through? Does head towards the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Workers pulled away. And there's the overcharge. Oh my, they're lighting up. No! The probes, they do light up for a moment there. But the overcharge puts in a lot of work, and only 2 probes go down. Only 2 workers. LunaSea defends, and now LunaSea attacks. Here comes a Prism and 4 stalkers across the map. Bearing in mind, HonMonO still does not have Stim. Stim is on the way. Nice defense so far here by LunaSea. As he moves out, once again, though, HonMonO rallying across the map with those Hellions. And they can 2-shot probes. As it takes 3 to 1-shot. They're making their way into the main. Oh, nice warp in, though. That will delay the Hellions, locking one of them down. The Hellions going to be cleaned up. They only get 2 probe kills, meanwhile Stalkers, they move out across the map. And with good enough control, these Marines should be cleaned up. One of death falls. Bit of miscontrol, a little bit of miscontrol there by LunaSea. Does lose 1 adept. But looking at the vision, LunaSea, he did get eyes on the extra Vaxes. So again, this is a big tell. No starport, no metavax, fast stim. And this is leading into a massive push. With stim and ideally +1. And it's going to be on LunaSea to slow this push down. Picking off Marines, tanks, whatever he can. It all adds up. As LunaSea is getting a 3rd. Working towards charge. No Colossus, interesting choice. Is working towards a more gateway-centric composition instead. Still being active though. And the Observer does get eyes on any kind of move out. For the most part. As you can see, HonMonO just looking, hunting for any kind of stray units, for any Warp Prism. LunaSea just reinforces. Getting the zone upgrades. Looks like the Observer did fly too close to the sun, was shut down. But I'm sure was looking for a starport, and here we go. We pull the trigger, we pull the boys. We spoke about it earlier, but the opener did scream 2 base all in. The boys have been pulled. It's all or nothing for HonMonO, and LunaSea needs to slow this down. He needs to engage. Can he catch a tank? Oh, the tank is exposed. He doesn't quite commit. The tank survives. Gets a couple of SCVs, gets a couple of stray units. But this is still a messy engagement for LunaSea. Now he gets eyes on the tank, and it looks like he will get it. And he forces HonMonO to turn around. There we go, tank goes down. HonMonO pushing out. LunaSea recalls back home. And it's still going to be a tough hold. No sentries, no force fields. Zal's trying to tank some shots. Yeah, shield battery is going to be denied. We do pop the overcharge, but it gets denied instantly. And not the best use of the overcharge. Now it's on cooldown. And now it won't be available at the natural. Remember, killing the 3rd base is not good enough for HonMonO. He has to go for he has to kill his opponent completely and go for the natural. More tanks have arrived, reinforcements on the way. And it does feel like LunaSea just wasn't able to get enough damage in the center of the map. He needed to pick up more Marines. Just wasn't able to. The pylon goes down, depowers the shield battery, and HonMonO, he's doing it. He's snowballing out of control, they're all in, it's working. The Marines are overstimmed. But there's still just so much DPS potential in this army. Zealous is trying to catch reinforcements. LunaSea is supply blocked, he can't warp in anything else. Probes are going down. And HonMonO, again, he's done critical damage. He's now up on bases, he's up on economy. A higher worker count. And LunaSea is up against the wall. Gonna try to engage, but the tanks are doing so much here. Zealous coming from behind. 1 Immortal goes down, 2 Immortals go down. And LunaSea finally cleans up the army, but this needs to happen earlier. As HonMonO has still got double the worker count, 3rd CCs on the way. He has mules, building up an army, and now LunaSea. Now he is all in instead. Now there is so much pressure on the Protoss to do some kind of counter damage. As LunaSea moving out on the right hand side. But there's Marines in position. There's a turret as well already ready. HonMonO playing this out so safe. And this is no. Goes back up. HonMonO secure. Meanwhile, LunaSea now working towards Storm, but again, this is like a little bit too little too late. Now, there is a world where potentially LunaSea can go for like a Storm drop and get a mineral line, and HonMonO doesn't counterattack. Basically, LunaSea, he is hoping for HonMonO to make mistakes. He's hoping for HonMonO to have some indecision or some poor decision making when it comes to when and where he does attack. there is a world where LunaSea can take advantage of that, but again, that's what he's really relying upon. Is HonMonO slipping up? Outside of that, HonMonO is looking very secure. Like, as long as HonMonO just calms down, gets into his third economy, builds up an army, like, there's no rush, right? Like, HonMonO doesn't have to attack. All he has to do is just chill, max out, and then push. There's no rush when it comes to pushing into the natural. As HonMonO can just get further ahead, tech into Ghosts, tech into Liberators. LunaSea's moving out. Fourth CC's on the way. HonMonO scans for a third, sees that there is none. Now he knows to play it a little bit safer. As LunaSea does rotate towards the third. The army is a bit out of position, but for the most part, he can't respond in time. Here come the storms! Decent storms on the Marines. Oh my god. One High Templar to all the High Templar go down. Brutal losses there for LunaSea. And GG gets called as the army crumbles, and HonMonO will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. As we mentioned, we expected an ace match between these two players. In game 1, we saw LunaSea look more dominant in a more standard macro game. Here in game 2, HonMonO, he embraced what he's known for, 2-base all-in, and LunaSea, he had a really hard time slowing it down. If you remember, LunaSea was very indecisive when it came to his army in the center of the map. It took him a while to really start engaging with the reinforcements and picking off tanks. Definitely something he could have done a lot sooner as well. On top of that, the overcharge was mistimed. Likewise, he just wasn't quite ready with his defenses back at home. No sentries, no force fields. Was caught with his pants down, even though he shouldn't have been, right? Like, for the most part, he was aware of what was happening. If you remember, he scattered the main base. He had the observer over the army. Like, he, for the most part, should have pieced together. It wasn't all in, but still did catch him out. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. And this could go either way. But what I will emphasize is that we are loading into a smaller map, and a map that is known for 2-base all-ins as well. We're loading into Oceanborn. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Hyper 1, tying up the series. Can he take it all in the end? Can he take the ace match? It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Teal Protoss player being forced into game 3. Can he bring it back? It is LunaSea from South Korea. I see someone asking in the chat, are all those Zergs out? Yes, they are. But that's kind of what we're used to here. If you're used to watching online tournaments, it's okay. Welcome to the Sparkling Protoss Cup. Online tournaments are usually dominated by Protoss players, so again, whether it's this event, the War TV Mondays, the Stego Mondays, should be used to all the PvPs. It's all good, it's all good. We mentioned before that Eba would be like our Zerg representative, but Eba was unaware of daylight savings, so Eba did wake up late. Likewise, Fiance always wakes up late as well, so shaking my head, shaking. Okay. Shaking my head back. Likewise, when it comes to other Zerg representation that we usually have, this week there was no Shin. I mentioned before that some of the bigger Korean names were unavailable here tonight. So there's no Shin, there's no Byun, no Nightmare. Regardless, we'll still have our Koreans here before us, and we'll see which one advances on to the semifinals. Ooh. As once again, the CC is forced off location. There's still a chance, trust. I'll message Estrella. I'll be like, Papi, we need you to off-race a Zerg. For the diversity. Smurge. Este Eva. My father, Fiance usually wakes up at like 2 p.m., something like that. In Sweden, shaking my head. Este Fiance. One day he'll wake up. One day. As we have a HonMonO, he's scouting for proxies here towards the north. Likewise, LunaSea opening up with a proxy of his own. Pylon has been placed towards the left-hand side. I'm curious what he's going for. No tech committed yet, but there is a second gateway, and now a third gateway across the map. Okay, let's go. LunaSea being a lot more assertive here in the early game. Moving out with the Adept, attempting to delay the CC. Gets a Marine. Gets one Marine so far, and we'll get the second Marine as well. Alas, we'll not delay the command center, we'll complete. But we'll get another SCV. Not bad. Before pulling out. HonMonO coming in with the intercept. Oh, but who intercepts who? And the Marine goes down. LunaSea cleans up. Gateways are about to finish. And LunaSea is going to be able to warp in across the map to reinforce and try to knock down this third. It's already 3 Marine kills. There is now a Cyclone. There is now a backbone to the army. One day shall awaken. One day. As HonMonO, he does rotate, does get eyes on the gateway, is aware, but here comes LunaSea for the punish! The Cyclone! Cyclone takes a lot of hits. Oh my god. Does take some hits. Marines are going down as well. The gateway is saved. When HonMonO is punished, so many Marines going down. And the Shade can hunt down the Cyclone as well. The bunker isn't done. Adept's going for the Marines, zoning the army away from the bunker. Stalkers, they collapse in. Oh my god, the hot pickup! The micro! HonMonO does barely save the Cyclones, but the bunker will fall, and HonMonO is stuck on a one-base economy. He has to evacuate. He cannot hold on to the natural. Glaive's on the way behind this. Oh my god, LunaSea, calm down! Rushing into Glaive Adepts. Can he get a kill on the CC? It's going to be close. Boys are being pulled to repair. Boys are being pulled. Gets one SCV. Command center will be saved. LunaSea still reinforcing. Doesn't commit. Does get eyes on the army, now getting up to 3 Cyclones. And the Cyclone count is still looking quite high. LunaSea waiting for his moment. And LunaSea doesn't even have to commit. He's expanding. He's taking a 3rd base. He's up 2 bases compared to the Terran. That's all he needs to do. Doesn't have to force the issue. Just calm things down. Likewise, HonMonO going for a Liberator counterattack. Back at home, there is nothing to defend. Might force a recall or at least a defensive warp in. So LunaSea is not quite ready for this. Liberator has arrived. Oh. Going for the mineral line. Probes are going to be going down. Late reaction by LunaSea. And he's going to be committing. He does try to commit up the ramp. But there's a tank on the high ground. Massive tank shots going off. Yeah, this is not worth it for LunaSea. Not worth it at all. Adepts go down. 5 probe kills across the map. So a very efficient moment here for HonMonO. Get some Adept kills. Get some workers. LunaSea trying to stabilize. Getting into his own blink. Into his own immortal production. And HonMonO will eventually break out. Now that he has tanks, he can slowly siege forward. Tanks are spotted. More Adepts on the way. Now, as HonMonO expands and takes this natural, now he's a little bit more exposed. Now, we have a wide open area here that LunaSea can try to push into. The tank is further back. But I'm not so certain LunaSea has enough. Yeah, not enough to shade on top of the army. Backs up for now. HonMonO going for a double Cyclone jump, going for the proxy. And we'll take down the pylon. Blink is done though, and LunaSea goes for the medic. Yeah, he goes for the medevac. Medevac goes down, Cyclones as well. Nice pickoffs. The pylon is saved. LunaSea does maintain himself. Building up more Adepts. That's a lot of Adepts. Back at home, immortal production. Extra gases. 3rd base is fully saturated. But again, I'm still not fully convinced that LunaSea needs to commit to this shade. Oh, he's going to. Yeah, Stim isn't done. Marines are going down. Nice EMP here on the Stalkers. But the tanks are falling one after the other. It looks like LunaSea, he barely might have enough. Oh, there's still one tank. There's still one tank on the high ground. It's going to be targeted down. Up. Oh, barely not. Tank survives. And HonMonO, he will barely hold on. But at what cost? At the cost of 17 SCVs. HonMonO losing every single worker. And again, LunaSea doesn't have to keep going. He can just calm down. But LunaSea is in control. He's in control of this game. He's getting a 4th base. He can afford these losses. HonMonO cannot. The reality is that, hey, LunaSea killed 2 tanks. He killed 2 tanks. He took down most of the Marines, a lot of SCVs. And what that means is there's not enough for a counterattack. It means that HonMonO, he can't really threaten LunaSea across the map. Not with this small of an army. Not with only 1 tank and a handful of Marines. So LunaSea can just keep trading. He's going for the final tank. He will get it. Tank goes down. Marines as well. And LunaSea, it looks like he has broken the natural this time. He gets the final ghost. Again, a much more aggressive game out of LunaSea. He had enough being the defender. Going for the final tank. Did pop out. Is going to be targeted down. Oh, just barely. Again, not the cleanest of trades here by LunaSea, but he doesn't need to, like, trade too efficiently. It's fine. It's all good. As HonMonO is pulling some boys, he's helping a little bit of copium with his defense. Again, he loses 11 more SCVs, down to 19. And HonMonO, he will force back the army. And he's got a lot of catching up to do. He's down to 20 workers. Does have ghost tech, true. He has, you know, an army to work with here with 2 medevacs with a handful of Marines. But as we mentioned before, he just can't really threaten his opponent. He's just perpetually stuck at home. As LunaSea's just establishing more bases, probing up, getting into Colossus production. 2nd Forge on the way. LunaSea is looking quite secure. And now he's going for a massive warp into the main. Yeah, Zelts into the main base, main army towards the natural. He wants a CC! He shouldn't get it though. Yeah, the boys are pulled to repair. LunaSea has to back off at the same time. Oh my god, he gets the main! He gets a kill in the main CC. Didn't get the natural, but he gets a base nonetheless. GG gets called, and LunaSea will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to LunaSea. He does claim the series. Again, it was a back and forth. We saw HonMonO thriving in Game 2 when it came to his own all-in, but here in Game 3, LunaSea, he dictated the pace of the game instead. LunaSea, he was initially the aggressor, forcing HonMonO to dance to his music instead. And HonMonO, he had a much harder time here, just being stuck at home. He was overwhelmed early on. We saw LunaSea picking off so many Marines at the start of the game, kind of punishing the aggression, the move out of HonMonO. Did eventually snowball out of control and did lead to, of course, his natural falling as well. As HonMonO, he bled out his Cyclones and he just lost too much too early on, too quickly. And LunaSea was able to take control from there. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, LunaSea will take the series, and we are now heading over to the bracket to catch up on what else has been going on. Let's have a look.